Hello, everyone. Sean Hart here with my trusty sidekick, Mr. Seth Stevens. He'll say hello in a moment. I want to welcome y'all and thank you for taking the time out of your very busy Friday to join us. We're going to make it really short and sweet, give you a quick update, and help set expectations for the next several weeks. Seth, say hello before we jump in.
Hey guys, we did this webinar earlier this morning. We did it at 11 a.m. Now we're doing it at 11 a.m. I guess we did it Eastern. Now we're doing it Pacific. So if you joined us earlier, it's going to be a rerun, but welcome here. We're going to go through a client update, the first one of many in the future. Sean, take it away.
Yes, thank you for letting me know that the audio is working. So keep in mind that from time to time, we'll send you an email. These emails are only going to paid clients of Post-Purchase Pro marketing services for Amazon sellers. This is not a sales pitch. This is not an upsell. There's nothing here that you can purchase. This is strictly a webinar to keep you up to speed on what's going on, help remind you of what we're doing and set expectations. So at a high level, what we're going to cover in the next 15 minutes or so is going to be communications with us, whether to use Skype or support. We're going to talk about the onboarding timeframes from the original presentation where you signed up for the service. We'll get to your Q&A when we finish, but we're also going to talk about how to approach your product inserts. Someone's saying there's no picture. Seth, can you confirm that you're seeing my slides?
Slides are coming through okay. Paul Samuel says no audio. Guys, if you're having any trouble at all, log out and log back in.
All right, this is great. I'm going to go back to the first screen. If you're having technical issues, just log out of the webinar and then log back in, and I'll be sitting here waiting for you. So for those of you that are getting audio and picture, just bear with them real quick so we only have to do this once. Just take a moment here for folks to get logged back in.
Actually, for the rest of you guys, Brad or any of you guys who are sitting there, can you let us know if you can see our screen and hear us? I can see and hear. Great. Thank you, Howard, Luke, and Mark. All right. Take it away, Sean.
All right. Let's do it all over again. So welcome. We're going to talk about expectations in the program, communications, onboarding timeframes, how to approach your insert, and finally, we're going to talk about product instructional videos, whether audio, visual, or written. And this has been the subject of a lot of support tickets lately, so we just want to give some clarification. Now, before we jump into this and we talk about these things, I want you to remember, first and foremost, why did you engage Seth and I and our company, Post-Purchase Pro, to handle your email marketing services for your Amazon business? For most of you, it's because you're sitting on a ton of emails that you've never done anything with, or you're sitting on the sidelines and you're trying to get an email list started and then monetize it. Either way, we know what we're doing. That's why you engaged us to handle this part of your business for you. So bear with us while we do the work that we promised. All right. So first, communications. When to use Skype? When to use support? You should use Skype if you have a quick question, not a service, support, or billing question, but a quick question. Hey guys, did you get the file that I uploaded? Do you have the correct logo? Something like that. Skype, we're using Skype and we're going to continue to use Skype as long as we don't abuse it, but it's so that you can have an open line of communication with us. This doesn't mean that we're going to answer your question immediately. This doesn't mean just because we've seen your Skype message that we're going to jump in and answer that immediately, because those Skype conversations do not take priority over support tickets. If you have a specific question that's detrimental to your business, to your campaign, to your account, your billing, if you have comments, questions, or concerns, we ask that you simply send an email to CS that you see at the bottom of your screen, CS for customer support, at postpurchasepro.com. If you do it this way, then our system that we use, our help desk, will automatically create a support ticket for you, which can be followed, tracked, and most importantly, managed so that we can see where you are in the process. If you send this in Skype, you may or may not get a comment or an answer, and we're probably going to move you over to the help desk anyway. So help us keep the Skype channel clear, help us stay on task with your campaign creation, implementation, and deployment, by only using Skype when we ask you, hello, Mr. Client, we need a new logo. Is this the correct link to the product that you want to promote? If we need something from you, we'll reach out in Skype so that we save a lot of time. 99 out of 100 times, if you need something from us, it's considered support. So please send an email to cs@postpurchasepro.com. If we don't adhere to these practices, at some point, we're just going to shut the Skype channel down and only work via email. So don't abuse that, and we'll keep that line of communication open. Seth?
Yep, so general rule of thumb, just so you can keep it in your mind, is Skype will be from us to you requesting things so we can move quickly, and for us to be able to track all of the tickets and follow up properly when you send stuff from you to us, go through support cs@postpurchasepro.com. Now, if for whatever reason, like some of you guys have sent in an email before and our ticket system filtered it out, you can still come through Skype, but that's a very, very rare. So stay in the ticket system so we are able to track. Our ticketing system actually typically gets followed up within 24 hours. So stay there. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, so imagine if you had a Skype channel open and you had hundreds of people sending messages and everyone wants an immediate reply. It ain't going to happen, right? If you use our help desk, that's the one that we take seriously. That's the one that you'll never go more than a few hours without getting a response unless you're in some obscure part of the world and we're asleep. So use that. If you're not getting our communications, then please check your spam folder and whitelist any address that you see where Post Purchase Pro is the sender, okay? Moving on, onboarding timeframes. When you signed up for this program, like everyone else involved, we promised you 60 to 90 days. Now, every single one of you on this call, I can see you in the list here, with the exception of one, you're on about a 60-day time frame. I think most of you have a end date or what am I trying to think of? A deadline of August, a due date, thank you, of August 2nd. Normally this kicks in when we receive your intake form, okay? Some of the things that could delay or speed up the process are the transferring of information. We need to reach out to you for clarification on the intake form. We need clarification on your segmentation for brands and whatnot. Maybe we need a high resolution copy of your brand logo as we build out your funnel. These things can slow it down. For the most part, we attack this with a 30-day mindset, but we promise you between 60 and 90 days, and we intend to keep that promise, all right? Every single thing starts with your intake form. As amazing as it may seem, we've had folks on board for over 30 days who have still yet to fill out their intake form. The intake form is kind of like that annoying type of form that you have to fill out when you visit a new doctor's office. It's redundant information to you, but it's all fresh and new to us. So the sooner you can fill in the blanks and get us the details that we need about your business, we can start working on the 346 steps in our process to get you a customized one-off solution built around your brand, speaking the language that your customers are used to hearing, and hopefully congruent with the brand image that you have started with. Remember, we have to build everything from scratch. We have to strategize almost every step of the process, especially in the major milestones. Your inserts, your custom assets created, your funnels, integrations, links, the copywriting, and your sequences, your customer list management, and so much more has to be handled one at a time and has to be strategized. Yes, we have plenty of staff, but we take each one of you serious enough that we give you individual attention in your account. Seth?
Yep, exactly, guys. So we're not going to rush through and get everything done in 2 weeks or 4 weeks or anything like that typically, because we want to take our time and do a good job. The reason why you guys hired us in most cases is because when you looked at the scope of work that it would take to get done what we're doing, it's way too overwhelming, way too complex, and a lot of strategy and strategic thinking that you may or may not have ever done ever in your life. So we sit there and we think about all the things that are skippable in most cases for a lot of sellers. We think about what your customer would see and take action on. We think about what placement do you need your insert to be seen, acknowledged, and then acted on all of those things for your specific niche, for your brand and your market. So don't force us to rush the process too much, because we're working hard. We want to get done too, but we want to make sure that when we're done, it's right and it produces an amazing result. Go ahead, Sean.
Now, there are some of you who request a speedy insert. Maybe you're in the process of manufacturing more inventory and you need that insert right away. We have accommodated that in a lot of scenarios, but just because we finish your insert, because you request an insert before it's time for us to deliver your insert, the first thing that you do is go check out your custom funnel with the URL and the insert, and you say, wait a second, this isn't finished. I don't like this. I don't like the color. It's ugly. Remember, you asked for a speedy insert, but we have not yet reached the process in our 346-step process to create your funnel for you. But rest assured that before your insert starts sending live customer traffic to the funnel, it will be finished. Until then, you should either have an ugly placekeeper as a funnel, or in some cases, in the very recent history, it will say under construction, check back later. Okay. If you don't hear from us, that's good news. That means we have everything we need to proceed. And if there's anything missing in your file or your intake form, or if we need further clarification, we will reach out to you and we will be proactive about it. Okay. So if we're quiet, that means everything's moving along smoothly. Seth, before we talk about inserts, anything else here on onboarding?
Sean, you just covered it, but I just want to reiterate it because it's so important. Every one of you guys are push forward type of people. You want to get things done and you want to make sure that you're supporting us. Now, the question that we get daily is, how do I know that you guys have everything you need to be working on my behalf? Because if you don't hear from us, in your mind, you're just assuming that we're not doing anything, and that's just not true. What happens is we have some of your information. Now, we may or may not say anything to you right now telling you that we have all of your information, or we don't, because in our process, which is 346 steps long, we might not have discovered that we don't have all of your assets yet, but we do have enough to work on the piece that we're working on in the moment. So if we're able to write all of your emails, and that's what we're working on today, we might not know that we're missing another piece that we're going to use during your funnel build out. We will notify you though when we get to that process. So don't worry about letting us down and not giving us what you need or what we need from you. We will let you know, and just rest assured that we are working, even though we're not saying anything. We are working in the background and making progress. And when we hit the point in time in which it calls for something that we don't have, we will let you know via Skype, and then we'll follow up via email. Go ahead.
Thank you for the clarification. Now, keep in mind, we are not going to neglect you. However, I'm not going to annoy you and inundate your email and text message with messages that are not important to your onboarding process. However, there are about 16 milestones that we're going to reach while we're doing your onboarding and getting you optimized that you should and could and should already have received those milestones in the process. You'll get an email in the email that you provided in your intake form, as well as a text message in the mobile phone number that you provided in your intake form. If that email and that mobile phone number are not accurate, then please send in a ticket to CS for customer service, which is Charlie Sierra, cs@postpurchasepro.com, just like you should see at the bottom of the slide. Okay, so when you reach certain milestones, we will notify you and it'll say no reply. We're just notifying you of the progress in your post-purchase pro campaigns via text and email. If you're not getting those, check your spam folder again. All right, so how to approach your inserts. All right, in the handouts on this webinar, you're going to see it's called PPP Product Insert Instructions. Most of you should have already received this. It's already existing inside of your client shared folder in Google Drive. But if you want to download it now, go to the handout section and go to webinar, and you can download the PDF. Again, the name is PPP Product Insert Instructions -4. All right. This PDF will show you the best practices that we've discovered through thousands of products, hundreds of brands, millions of email opt-ins over the last more than half a decade. We're going to talk about the size, the shape, the color, the location of your insert, the design, and the psychology behind that. Seth, let's talk about inserts and what questions come up most often when we're talking about inserts. As soon as this segment's over, we're going to pause for some Q&A specific to you, and then we're going to jump in and talk about the most important part of this today is going to be your product instructional videos. Seth?
Yep. So guys, what typically we do is we'll create 2 different inserts for you, depending on what products you have in your lineup now, and then also what products you'll have in the future. So we design an octagon shaped stop sign, and the wording is custom to you and your brand and your niche. And we design that in our strategy sessions that we have internally. That's going to be, like I said, a stop sign, and that is typically used on products that are a regular physical product that you're just going to put on the product itself. And one of the questions that we get is it TOS compliant to have the fulfillment workers in the Amazon warehouse to see my insert? Can I put it on the outside of my package? And first of all, I'll just let you know that we've sent millions and millions of products with inserts on the outside of packages, and we've never had one issue. Secondly, it's not against TOS to have an insert. Every major brand has an insert or a warranty card. Just look at KitchenAid or any brand like that. So it's not against TOS. We always approach it from a customer service angle, not a, hey, here's what gives inserts a bad rep, is that a seller will say, hey, for $10, give me a review and I'll send you that $10. That is against TOS, and that's why inserts get a bad rep. But in our case, it's always from a service perspective, so you have no issue. So yes, you can put your insert on the outside of your packaging if it makes the most sense. The second type of insert that we're going to send you, in addition to the stop sign octagon, is a circular insert that if you have or you're going to launch a supplement product or a lotion or what Sean calls a potion of any type with a circular lid, we put this insert right on the top. It's a sticker and it's a circle, and it's geared towards packaging that's exposed. Like, you don't have a box to put the normal insert in. You just have like an exposed bottle or an exposed circular package that is going to be wrapped in bubble wrap or what have you. So you put that right on the lid, so it's obvious when the customer gets it. That's to take action, and your message is delivered. Anything to say there, Sean?
Yeah, so the psychology behind the insert is to almost be hideous in nature, to scream, look at me, to scream, hey, let me grab your attention. Let me stop you in your tracks. Let me compel you to what? Take action. Remember, every single step of your campaign is to compel a specific action out of the end user. We don't want to incorporate our insert into whatever you already have. If you're already delivering value, instructions, whatever that is, keep doing that. We want you to add the insert that we're creating for you in addition to what you already have, because it is a pattern breaking, show stopping, attention getting insert. It's almost ugly for a reason. We want you to take notice. We want you to acknowledge the existence of that insert or sticker and take action based on the call to action that is on the insert. This has a lot to do with the color. Most of them that you see are going to be bright red in nature with black lettering, or white lettering with a black shadow. This is specifically done to get attention. The shape in the form of a stop sign is to get you to stop and pay attention. The size, we get this a lot. A minimum of 2x2, unless your bottle lid is smaller than that, of course. We'd like to see a minimum of 2x2, maximum 4x4. And where should the insert go? When you talk about location, it should go anywhere the customer will most likely find, touch, engage, and discover the insert. Not under the product in the box underneath all your packing peanuts. I want the insert to be front and center and have a direct effect on how the customer opens and engages with the product. Remember, we're providing excellent customer service through the funnel the insert's driving traffic to. We don't want to hide it. We're not breaking any rules. We want it to be right out there, up close and personal. We want your customer to immediately have an intimate relationship visually with the insert before they go to your site and opt in. I cannot stress that enough. The design, color, shape, size, and location is for a specific outcome that you hired us to do, and that is to help you build and maximize the profitability from your customer list. What should I do if I have inventory already at FBA or in the manufacturing process? Seth, should we retrofit the inventory that's already in the channel or in the pipeline?
Yeah, so that's going to be completely dependent on your supply and how quickly you move your supply. So if you have a lot of inventory at FBA, then you just want to see how long that is going to take to sell through. If it's going to take months, you might consider removing some of it, putting the insert in, and then sending it back in. If your insert is selling quickly though, the best thing to do is just to have your manufacturer included on your next order. And that's going to be the case for a lot of you guys. If you are one of the few sellers that does a lot of your own merchant processing and your own fulfillment via FBM, then you can start including your insert right away because you're touching each piece at the warehouse level. So if you're using a 3PL, a lot of 3PLs will insert it for you. If you are doing it yourself, you can do it yourself and then have your manufacturer do it at the next inventory order point. Sean?
Thank you. So start asking your questions at this point, and we're going to jump into the next segment, which is going to be about product instructional videos. Okay. We're also going to be posting this video specifically and may be shared with you through Skype because our staff does not know that you attended this webinar. But so don't be surprised if we send to you a video and say, hey, check out this video about product instructional videos, because you've already seen it here today. You can just ignore that message. And what is Howard's question, Seth?
Okay, so for products that are packaged in a poly bag, which do you think would be best? The sticker placed on the outside at the opening of the bag or an insert card inside of the bag?
So what I
So,
would do is I would place the sticker over where the bag is sealed. So in order to open the bag, I have to touch and acknowledge the sticker. Unless, of course, the bag has some utilitarian value when it comes to how the product is used. Seth?
yep. So Howard, the thing to think about there is you don't want the sticker to rip when they open it, because if it rips, then they won't be able to read it or scan it. So just keep that in mind. But basically, the closer to the customer's eyes, the better. So in that case, I would probably put it on the outside of that bag just so it's right in their face as soon as they open it up. For instance, we had a pillow product that was wrapped in a poly bag, and we would just put our stop sign right on the outside of that poly bag. Never had an issue, but had tons and tons of opt-ins.
Perfect. That is the only question that I see at this point. So, okay, go ahead. There's another question, Seth. If you have a question, ask it now before we jump into the next segment.
He says, at this point, should we have received any of the progress emails / text that you mentioned? Actually, we have been getting inundated from requests from you guys saying, hey, where are we at, where are we at, where are we at? So we just implemented the system where you will get notified when we hit certain milestones. Now, we already told you that we have 346 steps to get you just onboarded, and then we're going to start our split testing and our maintenance routine. So that is just the onboarding routine. But if you think about the 346 steps that we do, they're going to be spread out a little bit, because it could be we only have 16 milestones that we're going to notify you of. And it could be that it's 30 steps that we're working on right now to get to the next milestone. So from this point forward, you should start receiving text and you should start receiving email client updates, because we just initiated this system to keep you guys up to speed.
So Seth, in the interim here, I'm waiting on another question, and we have plenty. Will you please go find a URL for me, because I can't remember the exact step of the milestone, but find a URL for me that we can share where folks who are here live or watching the replay can go test our system to make sure they do indeed get the text and the email.
Okay,
That makes
great.
sense, pal? All right, so what's Mark's question? I have no control over the question box.
If you hit the expand button, you should be able to control it. Mark says, if I'm excelling in multiple marketplaces, would I use the sticker for all of them? Mark, we are supporting your email marketing in all English speaking countries. Now we will need to know if you need a special treatment of any of those different marketplaces. But if it's going to Canada, we already have a Canadian link, but we're typically sending them back to your US store. So if you're wanting to send custom different marketplace links, then we'll have to create those totally separately. So that'll have to be treated separately. So you'll need to specify that to us.
Thank you. And Howard says, thank you for the advice there, Seth. It worked perfectly. You've been on this
Okay,
end
great.
too many times. So Howard said, just want to make sure you didn't miss any. Seth's going to provide you with the URL where you can go test our system to make sure the notifications are coming through. And like he said, let me just remind you that it's possible that your account has already passed the steps of the certain milestones. So you may not get, the first 5 or 6, but you'll get the last 10. Okay, so if you don't receive any in the next week or so, then I would be concerned. Otherwise, it should be working. You have that URL for us, buddy?
Yep, 1 second.
Just go ahead and put it in
Okay,
the.
so for instance, guys, okay, Sean, it is, you want to type this on the screen or do you want me to just send it to everybody?
Yeah, I can put it in the question in the answer box, and you can also put it in the chat box. What is it? www post-purchase pro?
I'm just going to put it or send it to everybody. It's postpurchasepro.com/1-4.
Okay, so if you want to test our system to make sure the notifications are being delivered to you and the email that you provided in the intake form, then go to that URL, postpurchasepro.com/1-4. That would be step 1.4 in the process, whatever that is. So you can test that now. Jeff says, explain how our pins paid for from Bullfrog and our list of managed by stats over 20K is going to be used.
So Jeff, what we're doing is we are building out, I'm sure in your case, we're not quite there yet just because of the timing of everything. But basically what we're doing is we have to build all of the integrations. We have to write all of the emails first, and then we're going to take all of those emails and put them into a sequence that we've written that provides customer service to your customers, ask for reviews, upsells products, and then cross-sells products. We have to get all that stuff done first, and then we will integrate it with Bullfrog, basically activating all of those 20,000 emails that you have and start sending those customers email marketing messages. Now, in the future, those customers will get notified automatically every time we write an email every month because it'll all be integrated. But in the beginning, we have to build everything from scratch. Hopefully that makes sense.
Question?
Mark says, so I need a different sticker for each marketplace. Mark, what we can do for you and anybody else who wants to do different marketplaces like that is we can have a split page where the URL will go to a page where they can select the market that they're in, and then we can split it at that point. So you can use the same insert and we can just split it in the funnel. You'll just need to specify that and specify what markets you're going to be serving and provide us with all the necessary links.
So Brad brought it up. He said the link that we shared with you, the 1-4, is saying send contract via DocuSign. That's correct, Brad, because when our internal staff reaches the point where we're sending you a contract via DocuSign, which in your case, you completed that several weeks ago. Once that step is completed, our staff will go to this site and notify you with the email and phone that we have for you. So if you were to plug in your email and phone number there, Brad, you should receive an email and a text within the next 3 to 4 minutes notifying you of, congratulations, your DocuSign contract has been emailed. Please complete and send back. That's just one step of many milestones in the process. Just an example so that you can test our systems to make sure that the notifications are being delivered. So Brian wants to know, if the default phone number is wrong, how do you update that? It's sending to the landline, not my cell. Good point, Brian. I'm glad you brought that up. Just simply create a support request and send it to cs@postpurchasepro.com, which is on the screen for you there. cs@postpurchasepro.com, and say, please update the phone number in my account, and we will get that done for you. So thank you. If you have that problem for email or phone number, just let us know and we'll be happy to update that for you. Howard says, for email appends, is the objective to have people opt in or to not have the append list opt out? Either way, the email append list would receive a different email communication flow than the current customer list, correct? So how we approach the email appends, Seth, well, actually, let you go ahead and explain this.
Okay, so Howard, we're not going to ask the person who's already purchased from you to opt in. We just start providing value right away, and we provide value in what we call an F14 or the first initial sequence that we send to all of your Amazon customers are approached with 4 goals in mind. One is provide value. So any customer who buys a product from you and immediately gets value on how to use that product and how to best get the best customer experience is not going to be upset. So we break them in, and that's why we're going to talk about here in a second. We're talking about product instructional videos and written instructions, because we're always leading with value. So every customer that comes into our ecosystem, the very first touch point is value. So we start there. Then we ask for the customer to come back and give us a review. Once we figure out who's happy and who's not, we take care of all the people who've had a bad experience, and everybody who's left, we're able to ask them for a customer review. Then we transition them to the upselling phase and then on to the cross-selling phase, which helps with frequently bought together. So basically our goal is always, whether an opt-in or an append, is to provide value and a better customer experience. And that sets the tone and creates a lot of happy customers. Some people will come out of left field and say, how dare you call me part of your family? I really don't want to hear from you, and we'll have to delete those contacts out of your email marketing system. And that's fine. And that's pretty normal. You'll always have a few wild people out there who respond crazily to getting nice value, and expect that, because that's all. I guarantee you that's going to happen if you have a list of decent size that's a little bit older, especially if it's an appended list. So watch out for that. But most of the time, 99% of the people are good receiving value, and that's where we start.
Apart from the insert, says Yinka, any other strategies to build the list of our customers? Yes, I'm glad you asked that. You won't find, and as a matter of fact, I would gamble with you. I'll bet you go to any retail store or order any name brand product on Amazon. I'm talking about household names. I would challenge you to find one single package that doesn't clearly state the manufacturer or the marketer or the trademark owner's website. Everything. I don't care if it's consumer packaged goods or if it's a wheelbarrow. Every single product is going to have the manufacturer's website. So I would think that another strategy that you could and should use, and it's definitely not against terms of service, is to clearly print your website on the package. Now, what you should not do on that website, if someone were to land on it, is say, hey, opt into my email list so I can send you discount codes. Go send me a product review. No, just overall information. Maybe have a non-threatening opt-in for a newsletter or something like that. That's one way to do it. Another way to do it is you can start a Facebook fan page, Facebook strategy to get folks to like your page, and then market to those Facebook likes and those Facebook followers to get them to opt into either your text message or your email list. Seth, anything else come to mind?
I think that's a good start. So you can use the append service from Bullfrog. You're going to use our insert, and then you're going to use the website. That alone, those couple things alone, will give you the bulk of your customers. Remember, our inserts typically will see a 50% opt-in rate or higher. So you're already getting half of your customers to opt in anyways. So the other half, and actually we've had inserts opt-in rates as high as 88% in one case. So there's only 12% of the people left outstanding. So the insert will do a fantastic job, and the appends kind of fill in the gap. And beyond that, it's just kind of an additional icing on the cake, I guess you'd say.
Yep. Yinka, your follow-up question will be answered in the next segment shortly, but Brad posted a comment. He says, so I got the text message from your SMS number earlier today stating, quote, no reply. Your shiny new customer acquisition funnel is now ready for your insert and other traffic. And then Brad goes on to say, I'm unclear what action I am to take after receiving this kind of SMS from your team. So Brad, good question. I'm glad you brought that up. In your scenario, remember, your insert traffic needs to be rerouted to the new URL based on the phone call and strategy session that we had with you a few days ago. That's the only reason why you're getting that. Otherwise, you should have gotten that several weeks ago, but that has just been a new update on your account. And typically there's nothing that you specifically need to do. These updates, folks, are just to bring you up to speed and let you know about the progress and certain milestones that we are crossing along the way of onboarding and optimizing your campaign. So good stuff. So let me take a short break here because I'm going to cut this video and make the next session available inside of our members area to share with you all and your colleagues. So give me just a second and I'll be answering that question. Okay, thank you for that. So what we're going to do now, we're going to talk about product instructional videos, whether these are audio visual instructions that are delivering value to the customer, or if they are written instructions in the form of a downloadable document or PDF. So the strategy behind delivery. Seth, I love it when you get on your soapbox and start preaching this. Talk to us about the strategy of a product instructional video and what that means, because specifically, Yinka just asked, I was also asked to send a promotional video of the product. Can you expatiate on this and how best to create one?
Yep. So let me jump in there a little bit. So the video that we're requesting from you guys, and that's why we wanted to have this call actually, was to clear up some confusion. We are looking for written or preferably video instructions for your product that supports your product. So where and how and why we are doing this, so if you want to advance the slide, Sean, is we are delivering this video to your customers as soon as they buy the product, see the product insert, act on that product insert, come to the page and opt in to receive the value that we promised on the insert. The value that we're promising on the insert is this video or written instructions. So imagine that you buy a product. What is the first few things that you would tell somebody that you want them to know about using your product so they have a wonderful experience, they don't return the product, and they don't leave a negative review? That is the video that we need. That is the whole strategy behind it. We're delivering value first and foremost. Sean, tell them a little bit more about what our goals are and how this comes into play.
So what I like to imagine is if a very close friend or relative was sitting next to you and you handed them a sample of your product, and it was important for you for that person to have the best experience with your product, and you had about 2 minutes to deliver that message, what would you say? What would you deliver? What would you tell that friend or loved one or relative what to do, what not to do, and how to get the best experience, longevity, and so on about that product? That's the value that we will want to deliver. Okay. Now, that being said, some folks are saying, do this, do that. Here's how you use this product. While in some scenarios, we're finding, and testing has proven to be true, that sometimes it's better to tell your customers what not to do. Not that we're trying to be negative, but we have had strategy sessions with several clients in very recent history, and we've tried this in our own accounts with varying degrees of success, mostly better than others. But what we're saying is avoid the top 3 mistakes that most people make when using this product. Something like that. Or the 7 things that you should never do with a fill in the blank. Something like that. So totally flip the script on them. Not only are you still providing tremendous value, but you're providing tremendous value that is above and outside of anything that your competitors even thinking about, let alone a pattern interrupting a shift of thinking for your consumers. Like, wow, everyone on YouTube's telling me what to do, but finally someone's showing me what to avoid. And imagine what that does to the customer when they say, finally, someone's actually showing me how to get the best result by avoiding these top 3, these top 5, these top 7, these top 9. We like to keep it an odd number, whatever that is for your category. Now, we have clients who sell everything from buggy whips to pump handles to wagon wheels. Not specifically, but you get the point. It's not one size fits all. But what you want to do is do something that no one else is doing. When they're zigging, we're zagging. So maybe it makes sense for you to tell me as an end user what not to do, what to avoid. Don't make these 3 common mistakes at all cost. Avoid, especially mistake number 3 is going to surprise you. This is compelling. This is curiosity provoking. This is forcing me to want to take action because I just can't stand not knowing what the top 3 mistakes, the unbelievable mistakes that we see folks make when using this wagon wheel. Think about that, okay? So use that strategy. Pardon the interruption. I forgot to kill one of my phones here. Now I can't do it because my screen is, I got all 4 screens working for you right now. So that's when to do it. Like Seth said, it's the first thing you want the client to experience when they open your product. It's like an unboxing or unveiling video. Where and the purpose we've already covered. Like I said, it's not only about how to or what to do, it's sometimes what not to do. And every time we have this conversation with you folks, most of you are like, wow, I never thought about that. No one's ever done that. Exactly. That's what we like to do. Avoid these top mistakes made by users. Where do you get these ideas? Seth likes to go in and mine from his bad reviews or from your competitors' bad reviews, 1-star, 2-star reviews. Figure out the experience that people are having with your competitor's product along with yours. And since you are front and center with a great relationship and understanding of your product, in a lot of cases, folks are using the product wrong. Don't tell them how to do it. Change the positioning and the way of thinking and said, avoid these 3 mistakes at all costs. And I'm going to show you some examples in a moment. Now, this may seem simple, but think about this. Your definition of value may not be the same as your end user, your customer. So deliver value, my friend, that is actually valuable. As simple as that statement sounds, think about it. Deliver value. Give me something of value that makes my life better after I consume that something of value that can only come from you or the angle that you're delivering it or the format that you're delivering it or the platform that you're delivering it. Give me value that's actually valuable. Does that make sense? Here are a couple of examples and then we'll finish with a couple more questions. All right. If you'll go now to this URL, originalbamboopillows.com/pages/instructions, this is what you'll see. Go ahead and bookmark this, study it later, but Seth is going to give you a high level view of the psychology behind this very old, very unprofessional, very ugly, embarrassing, but highly, extremely effective page. Seth?
Yeah, guys, so this was a brand that we had several years ago. We brought this one specifically to your attention because it was cheap to make. It was not only quick to make, but every single one of you guys can do this. You can either shoot it yourself or hire this. We hired this lady to shoot this instructional video for our pillow years ago for less than $100. Now, it has 40,000 views on YouTube, and it has helped a ton of people do the or use this product correctly. This is an adjustable pillow, and she walks you through how to use this product. This page is not the most beautiful, but it does deliver the value. And when we talk about delivering value and we talk about an instructional video, this is a perfect example. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be valuable to the product's experience. So check that page out when you have some time and look at that video. It's not perfect, but it is what we're talking about when we say, hey, we need an instructional video. This is not an advertisement in the slightest. This is not your brand video. This is not beautiful. This is what you need to know when you buy this product. That is what we need from you guys.
So when Yinka said promotional video, I almost cringed. A promotional video is promoting your product. That's about you. What this video should be is about the customer and the user experience. Now check out these other 2 examples. They're going to be a little bit obnoxious with the sound, so I'm going to mute them while we go through it. But Seth, I want you to explain what's going on in these videos as I scrub through them a little. a little bit. That way we save the audio in this recording. Okay, buddy?
Okay.
So this one is 10 fails to avoid. Once I play it, Seth will give you a little insight of the psychology here. But basically, this is a resin product where you can create crafts from resin. And what we're trying to do here, and this is very curiosity provoking, is avoid these 10 problems, mistakes, fails, whatever you want to call them, at any cost if you want a good experience. So go ahead, Seth.
Okay. So you can see just right away, this is not a $50,000 production video, and you'll see that this lady's just walking you through how to use this specific product. But this is really, really important to your customer if you're selling this product. And she just is sitting there, looks like she's shooting it with her iPhone or her cell phone and just showing you exactly what you need to know once you bought this product and how to actually use it. If you bought this product, would you rather have this video that provides value and shows you how to use it? Or would you rather sit there guessing, wondering how to use this thing? And of course, you would rather have this, and that's exactly the point. We need you guys to provide something like this for your product, and we will deliver it to your customer. So I think that's a good example, Sean. And then this next one is an example of the things not to do. This video looks like it has a little higher production quality. You don't have to make something this beautiful. You just want to deliver the information. So this thing is all about what not to do when using your what is this? Basically supercharged coffee. I can't espresso. Yeah. What not to do when making espresso. So you can approach it from that angle as well. I would just say if your product has some complexity to it in the slightest, always make sure you include the what to do and then also include the what not to do, and you'll cover it from both angles.
Exactly. So what I like about this video actually is, look, it's, oops, wrong page, sorry. It's 3 most common mistakes in espresso preparation. All right. To me, I'm already an espresso drinker. I probably know how to do it, but I want to avoid these mistakes. What if I'm making these mistakes? Maybe that's what's wrong with my coffee every morning. Right. So think about that positioning. Seth?
Yeah, I love that, Sean. So think about if you were buying a product or you bought a product and then the website that supports that product says, you've got to see the top 3 mistakes that other people make when using this product. You would sit up and pay attention because you don't want to fall into that camp.
And someone's asking, is this recorded? Yes, this is recorded in its entirety, will be available using the exact same link that you originally used to register for the webinar. So share it with your colleagues, that's fine. One more question, Mark says, we have videos for each of our products. Will you review them and let us know if they cover the required basis? Yes, Mark, please send a link to the videos to cs@postpurchasepro.com to create a support ticket. If you want just a real informal conversation and not expecting it to be tracked and more importantly managed, then just drop those links into Skype. But I would suggest that you do cs@postpurchasepro.com. Any other questions, folks, before we call this a day? This 19-minute video turned into an hour already.
Yep, I agree. All right.
All right. So while you're still there, just in case we have any more questions, let me talk about these 3 items real quick. Communication. If it's from us to you, it's going to be in Skype, especially if we need something real quick. Feel free to communicate with us, but don't expect it to be managed and tracked or answered immediately. Onboarding time frame, 60 to 90 days. Sometimes in a rare occasion, it could be 120 days. Depends on how intricate you have, how many brands you have, how many SKUs you have, how responsive you are when we need some details from you that we can't duplicate, how to approach your inserts. Hopefully you've downloaded that PDF. It's in the handouts. Instructions. You'll also find a copy in your quote client shared folder, unquote, I believe is what it is, in Google Drive. And then we just talked about product instructional videos. A couple of follow-up questions. Linda, my Hoosier hillbilly, now living in the mountains of California. She says this was great. You're welcome, Linda. Howard says, how often do these webinars generally occur? This is the second one we've done in 3 months, Howard, so not very often, But when we start seeing the same questions over and over and over, we thought, hey, let's just nip this in the bud. Let's allow our staff to stay focused on your campaigns and less focused on answering the same questions. So not only do we add it to our FAQs for our staff, but we also like to put a video out there that we can remind you to go watch and share with your colleagues and your staff ongoing. So when we do have a webinar, it will show up in the exact same format in the email that you received yesterday at the bottom where it said, it's webinar time. I don't want to take 2 hours out of my day to create slides and do a webinar, but we always see that, if it's fitting, the time is worth the effort put into it is worth it. If we can alleviate some fears, concerns on your side, help deliver a more quality product, help you get more reviews, more ranking, more sales, more profits, more cash in your pocket, both now and if and when you exit. So you're welcome, Paul. I'm glad you joined us, buddy. I know we've had some issues, and my Hoosier Hillbilly's laughing at me, and Howard says, thanks, guys. This was helpful. Hey, we appreciate it. And on behalf of our entire staff at Post Purchase Pro, Seth Stevens, myself, Sean Hart, we appreciate you. We love having you on and in our program. You've been selected after your intake form. We know that we can perform for you. The best is yet to come. Seth?
Sean, you covered it all there. Thanks, guys, for hanging out. More importantly, thanks for trusting us with your post-purchase marketing. We will see you guys, I'm sure, in the Skype thread as well as in support. Reach out if you ever need anything. And thank you, and see you on the next webinar.
See you guys. Take care.